Karissa.
Hi.
Thank you very much for doing this. I know it's not easy. I've been in that seat right where you are, so is Josh.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy,
Yeah.
but we appreciate it. So yeah, just have a few questions, and then wherever we go, wherever the Spirit leads us, we'll just go. This is like experimental for us too. So
All right.
Holy Spirit, just be with us and lead us. So our first question is, what was life? What was your life like without Jesus?
Um, I've gone through a few times in my life where I kind of, I guess, like you could say, turned my back on Christ and on God. But I never lost my belief in it, if it makes sense. Like I was like, I purposely was like, I know this is real, but I'm just not going to listen to it. And those times in my life were um, they were very dark. They were very dark. There were a lot of situations that weren't very healthy to be in, and habits that were started, and um, it was kind of like walking around, like being a dead person, like the song "Dead Man Walking." It was kind of like that as a woman, dead woman walking. Um, but yeah, they were very dark when I think back on them.
Do you remember what it was like before you met him? Like I know you said like there's been times when you turned your back on him. So like after you met him and you knew he was real, but like do you remember what it felt like or what it was like to be to live without him?
I grew up in a home that had faith, so I always knew who Christ was and who Jesus was, but I don't think it was ever a personal relationship until I got a lot older.
So what was that like?
It was like he was kind of that far away God. He was like oh, he's up there, he's watching over us, but it wasn't personal. It wasn't like having him be close and feeling him with me, like I do now.
What made you turn to him? So like what was the turning point like from that not having him be a faraway God to I know you're there and you're now a real person in my life. Like, do you remember what happened?
So my life, a lot of it, when I would have things like that happened that were very hard, or, to go through or traumatic, or I was a person who I really, really hated myself, and it kind of spiraled into, and it manifested as, and turned into being like a self-harm thing. Um, there were many times in my life where when I was really sad and the darkness was all around, where I would hurt myself to put a name to the pain, and it was a way for me to deal with it and get through it, but I never actually dealt with why it hurt on the inside and faced what was causing it. Um, and that it was like that for many years. And I'd say the last maybe 5 to 7 years, a lot of things have kind of snowballed and happened in my life where things that I think I put before God, even things that I loved, were taken away in one way or another. And I mean, he's a jealous God. I was putting these other things in front of him and not putting him as the first thing in my life and not seeking the things he had for me. So I was very empty, and I was still doing the hurting myself and doing all those things that weren't the right way to handle my pain and the things that I needed to face, and just running away from them, turning away and running away. And after years of doing that, I kind of finally hit a wall where I was just so dead inside, and I was so depressed, and I was hurting myself again, and I hated myself. And I was watching my marriage fall apart, and I was living in a place I didn't want to be, and there was so much pain that I just couldn't do it by myself anymore. And so I started to reach out for help, and I'm so thankful that I was able to find my church family here, because they were able to lead me to God and be like, he's there, he's waiting for you. And with their help and the guidance of like some of these wonderful people that have become like my family, they kind of were able to show me how to bring God into this pain instead of running from it and hurting myself to deal with it because I didn't know how to handle it. So I was able to ask God into those moments, and it's been an amazing change after that realization of asking him to be in the pain with me instead of trying to go through it myself.
Do you remember what he said to you?
I don't remember specifically what he said, but my one of the biggest feelings that I remember throughout it is when I would go into those places of pain and hurt, walking through something really, really difficult, like even recently, and call on him to come sit in it with me and be there with me while I was feeling these things. Just to know that he is still a good father. He is still loving me even though I'm feeling this way, and that he did not leave me alone even if I can't feel him. Because sometimes you're so in the depths of despair, you're so sad, you're hurt, you're hurting, you're going through these really awful times, but the realization of me going, you are still there, and even if 1 second I don't feel him, I know he's there and feel him in the next, because I'm just reaching for him and asking for him to come be with me.
How do you know Christ is real?
I think that kind of goes along with what I just shared about having this unknown strength to call on to get through things. Because there's no way I could do any of the things that I'm doing by myself. I need him so much to get through the days, to be the best mother I can be, to just get up in the morning. I would not be able to do anything without him. I know that every breath is a gift from him. Like, I know it's from him, and I feel that. I feel that in my daily life. I feel that in my children, even when they're being stinkers and I'm going crazy. I feel him giving all of this to me.
What would you tell a person who's struggling with doubt, or even just like complete disbelief, like questioning whether or not there is a God, or I don't know?
Yeah, I've hung out with a lot of people in my journey that were non-believers, and they always thought it was very strange that I did believe that. And it would be really hard to convince them, honestly, because I've been in that mindset. Like, I always believed, but I just decided not to. But even in that space in my mind, like deciding not to believe, you still kind of shut yourself off from it. But I think I would tell them that it's different for everyone. Some people have huge, like, wonderful spiritual feelings that will just like knock them to their knees, and some people, it takes years of searching yourself out and searching him out and having him search for you. It took me years. It took me years to really get to a place where I could say that I know Jesus and I know God in the way that I do now. And I would tell them to just keep reaching. Don't give up on it. It's in the little things. It starts with the little things, and if you pay attention to the feelings, then you'll realize, oh, that was him. That was the Lord. That wasn't just the wind, or I don't know, it could be anything.
In one word, describe who Christ is to you, and don't say everything. So, a word other than everything.
Okay. My life. Life. He's life. Without him, there would be no life.
He said he was life. You've shared a little bit about this, but like, how has being a member of New Life affected you and your family?
It's been amazing, because most people who know me know that I'm from Seattle, and I moved away from all of my family and all of my friends and moved to the middle of Wisconsin and didn't know anybody, and begrudgingly moved here, I might add. And I think God God had like totally whispered to me, like, you need to find a church, because I hadn't been going to church. I hadn't had a church back out west. And when I found New Life and started to get involved with the church, it just started this whole cool, more in-depth relationship with God. And it started with just joining a book group. I joined a book group, and then I joined worship team. And I like found these people who, and I know Pastor Aaron always says, like, you know, let's get dirty together. Let's go to those places. Let's get messy, right? And I wasn't used to that, but it was beautiful and wonderful. And I think God knew I needed a family out here because I was so alone. And finding these people who loved, you know, the way Christ loves, they love me, and knowing that they really care, it's made the world a difference to have that support from the church. So.
Amen. What are your prayer requests?
My prayer request would be for my children, because I worry about them so much. And I worry that I'm going to make some mistakes that they're going to remember forever. And I just want to be the best mom I can for them. And I want them to be healthy and happy inside. And I want them to know that I did everything I could to make their life happy and make sure that they knew who God was and that they are loved.
That's awesome. That's the way he feels about us times a million.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Just thank you. Thank you for just this whole experience, and I hope that that maybe somebody can get a whisper from God and I can help someone through this. You know, I don't know. Something good will come.